watch this?
How?
Ew, how do you watch this?
Dude, I'm gonna pee my pants.
Hi, you're listening to How Do You Watch This, a movie review podcast where each week we recommend a movie in the genre we love, but they don't. My name is Demi, and I love horror.
My name is Megan, and I love romance.
And this episode is a special episode where we guest starred on the podcast Opening Kill, and we review Lisa Frankenstein together. So
Yes.
This is the episode that we all recorded together, and we
hope you
Hope
like
you
it.
enjoy
It was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I think that it's definitely an interesting one to review alongside two guys who, one of whom never watches romance, really. And
Yeah.
it's a really good time. We hope you like it. Next week, we are going to be joined on our podcast with Michael Duran from Opening Kill Podcast, and he is going to revisit with us the original episode of our podcast where we cover 13 Ghosts. So we're going to rewatch, re-review 13 Ghosts, see what's changed, what's stayed the same.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we're going to start playing the actual episode now, so.
Yep, cool, thanks.
The following podcast contains movie spoilers and mature content, including graphic descriptions of violence. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Opening Kill, the podcast that dives deep into the chilling world of horror films. Every Thursday, we explore a different movie, from cult classics to modern masterpieces, uncovering behind-the-scenes secrets, analyzing themes, and sharing fun facts about your favorite horror films. Join us as we chat with filmmakers and fellow horror film fans to celebrate the fear in cinema. And now, the hosts of Opening Kill, Michael Duran and Brian O'Connor.
Hello, Michael Duran.
Hello, Brian. How you doing?
You know, not too bad.
That's good. It's always a plus.
We've actually made it to episode 16.
I know. Sweet 16. We have to buy a car now.
Well, yeah, we do. We do. How are you?
I'm good. A little tired. I was up late, way past my bedtime last night, but that's okay. And then I just about like 10 or 20 minutes ago, I got spit up on by my child.
Of course
so
you did.
I'm thriving.
So it's all good in your world.
Everything's perfect, yes.
Welcome to Opening Kill, the podcast that talks about all things horror. Each week we take a horror film, past or present, and break it down for you. We also have some other fun things we do, like the scare preview at the end of the show, where we will tell you about a new movie that is coming out in the near future that Michael and I are excited about.
Yeah, I've got a good one today.
Do you?
Yeah.
I do too, I think.
I think mine's going to be the best.
Very cool. We also have some very special guests we're going to be talking to here in a little bit. How Do You Watch This is a very cool podcast that is out there, hosted by Megan and Demi, and they are going to be joining us to talk about this week's movie, which is
Lisa Frankenstein. Not to be confused with the art supplies.
No, exactly. You know, it just seems it's an odd movie for us, but it's horror and there are kills in it.
Yeah, that checks off all our boxes.
It's kind of a romance love story, which is kind of odd for us, but we're doing
It's a
this.
romance story that has a lot of things in it that are questionable moral-wise. I have a lot of thoughts.
I'm sure you do.
Especially towards the end. I'm
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. But we'll get into all that. But yeah, it's going to be a great one. And I'm excited about our guests. It's going to be killer.
Yeah, they're great. And they drop every Sundays, and we'll talk to them here in a little bit.
Yep.
What movie did you see recently you want to tell me about?
Yeah, I watched Strange Darling, which was, I think you talked about it last week, about like it coming out on streaming or something. And it takes place in Oregon, which is kind of cool. And this movie...
is it filmed in Oregon?
I think so.
Do you think
I was
so?
looking at it. I'm like,
All right.
it looks like it could be. If it's not, it was a good,
because we've done like
alternate location.
We've done 3 or 4 movies where they claim it's in Oregon and then it's filmed in like New Zealand.
I think
or
this
something.
one could have been.
Okay.
And this one is fucking wild. Holy shit! I was floored. Have you seen it yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so I'm not going to give like anything away.
Okay.
But there's 2 scenes that go on to the point where I was getting very uncomfortable, and then the director's like ended it. I was like, I was about to have a problem, and then he decided to end it. But the second one, because it has nothing to do with the plot, I will share a little bit of it. It involves this old couple who are kind of goals, honestly. Like, I kind of hope that's going to be me and Hannah in our 80s.
Okay.
But they're just there, and they just cook this giant-ass breakfast, and they're eating it. But as they're eating it, they're like kind of like making sex noises. They're like, eat some bacon. They're like, I'm like, I hate this. And it went on for entirely too long. And I was about to have an issue. I was like, I need this to stop. And then it did, luckily. But just, I want you to be prepared, because I wasn't, and it caught me off guard. And I was watching it at work. And like, as these sounds are happening, I'm like, this needs to not be a thing.
Well, researcher Danielle, she's the one that gave me the Blu-ray, and so I have it. I just haven't watched it, but now it's streaming. So
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. I think I gave it 5 stars, so definitely worth the checkout, even with that scene.
Have you seen Christmas, Bloody Christmas? 2022.
Is that the one with the
It's the robotic
robot? Yeah, I've seen that one.
The robotic store
That is
Santa.
a horny movie.
Man, it is.
Good God.
It's a robotic store Santa goes on a killing spree because it comes to life. And here's the thing. It stars, I love Riley Dandy. She was in it.
Is she the shop owner, the record shop owner?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, she's great in it. Yeah.
She's great. And there were some very cool kills, and it was good, except the ending. It's one of those can't remember which film it was. I think it was Alien Romulus, where it just wouldn't die or something.
Well, it doesn't, the alien
This
doesn't
thing
die.
is ridiculous.
Dude, the last fight, I was just like, okay, we can wrap this up 10 minutes ago.
I swear to God, it went on. There were like 6 or 7 false
fake
deaths.
kills. Yeah, no,
at
it's
the
excessive.
end.
It's ridiculous.
And you're thinking, when is this thing going to end? And so that I gave it a lower score because of that. Because
it
was
loses
like,
momentum.
It
for
really
sure.
did. It's like in the fucking film already. You did a great job. Don't try and pull this out.
Did you know that was going to be a Silent Night, Deadly Night like remake?
No.
It was, so it's the same script and everything. They were just like, we don't like that it's robotic. So they just changed the name.
God.
Yeah.
The new Osgood Perkins film has a release date. It's called Keeper.
Mm-hmm.
And its plot is actually pretty simple when you compare it to Longlegs and The Monkey. Those two are crazy. This one's a little more simple.
They're so good, though.
It's about a woman who's left alone at a remote cabin after her husband leaves for whatever reason. And now she has to confront a sinister presence that exposes the cabin's chilling past. Actually, Tatiana Maslany, who was in The Monkey, she's
the
star.
mom, right?
Yep, she
Nice.
is the star in this. It's going to be, here's the crazy thing. It's going to be released theatrically on October 3rd in Brazil, and then it'll get a U.S. release soon after that. But they haven't given the U.S.
That's random.
Very random.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we could have seen the trailer for that if we had stuck around to the end of The Monkey. Apparently they played
did they
it.
dump it in there?
They played it at the end of the credits.
Of course they did.
But I'm not too mad. I don't sit around to the end of the credits. That's too much commitment for me. But my little bit of news is kind of exciting. So Catherine Newton, who's in the movie we're talking about, she just got confirmed to be starring in the upcoming Ready or Not 2. And it has the same directors, everything. So there's not much plot-wise about it. It's got to be a different story, I'm assuming, because they kind of cleared house at the end of that original.
They really did.
I don't know what it's going to be about, but I loved that movie and I love the directors and she's fantastic. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I am looking forward to that. I really enjoyed that first one.
That was funny.
Yeah. Lisa Frankenstein.
All right.
2024, Just the Facts, directed by Zelda Williams, the daughter of Robin Williams.
There's a ton of Robin Williams Easter eggs in this movie.
Yeah. This is her feature-length directorial debut. It was written by Diablo Cody, no surprise.
Love her.
Stars Catherine Newton and Cole Sprouse. Released February 9th, 2024. Made over $10 million at the box office. However,
Is that it?
Yeah. However, it cost $13 to make, so they lost money on it. Filming began August 8th, 2022 in New Orleans, wrapped on September 16th as a runtime of 101 minutes. So let's get into meeting our guests first, though, before we get too farther into this. They are the host of a very cool podcast. How do you watch this?
I'm a big fan. So,
I am too.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Am too. Want to welcome Megan and Demi. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having us.
We are thrilled to have you with us. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. So tell our listeners about what you do on your podcast, because I think it's incredible.
Okay, so the idea started. So my name is Demi, and I really love horror movies. And I was thinking of some way to incorporate that into either a podcast or videos, just because I watched so much of it. And then I was thinking, well, Megan.
She was thinking, how do I torture my best friend?
who loves only romance. And I thought, how funny would it be if we did a podcast together and we would recommend a movie. So I'd recommend a horror to her and she'd recommend a romance for me to watch and review. And that's how it started. So every week we'll do a horror movie and Megan watches and reviews it. We talk about it. And then the following week, we'll do a romance. And we do have a connecting thread between them, so it's not completely random. Sometimes the threads are random, like they both feature a horse or...
Yep, yeah. I think recently it was they both feature a pregnant woman who gets really badly injured. It's like super specific.
Love
You
that.
gotta find a common thread where you can find one. So
exactly.
Exactly. So yeah, so that is our podcast, and so that is kind of why Lisa Frankenstein is happening right now.
Yeah, you
because
guys
we're
really
accommodating.
blessed me by not forcing me to watch a horrifying horror movie again this week, because we just did our horror recording and I'm maxed out after Demons. We watched Demons this week.
Let me just say,
I don't think I've heard of that one.
I
Demons?
have, yeah.
I'm assuming it's about demons.
1985 Italian movie.
Ooh, it's an Italian movie.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Well,
So much
they go
blood.
hard. Holy shit! Italian
So much
movies
blood.
are nuts.
I'll tell you what, Demi, I have a list of movies for you to serve up to Megan, which I think is going to be fucking amazing.
Perfect. I will take that.
And I can't believe we were talking on Friday, and you actually told me you would listen to the Terrifier episode of our podcast,
Yes.
which was the very first one back on Halloween.
Easily the worst
Oh
and
my
most
God.
violent and horrifying.
Exactly, and you made it through that, but you did say you would never
did.
watch that.
Yeah, no, you described it, and I was like, you know what? I'm so glad I listened to this episode, because if Demi tries to recommend this, I'll put up my veto card because I can't handle it. But I was really pleasantly surprised that listening to you describe it was not an equally horrifying experience.
Well, thank you.
Well, that's good because
Yeah.
I don't
It
know
was
how we
enjoyable.
pulled that off.
I don't
Yeah.
either. I don't either, because those movies, I mean, I saw the third one. I had not seen the first two, believe it or not. And so I watched them leading up to our recording. And then
Yeah, I blessed you with this recommendation.
yeah, you did. I'm like, oh, cool.
Hashtag
Yeah.
blessed.
He didn't tell me how gory they were, because I'm not the biggest on extreme gore like that.
I'm not
No.
either, but like it just the third one was coming out, so I'm like, that's a good one to start with. People are excited about it, and
Well, the third one I had to watch on the big screen because it had just come out, right? Literally days before we recorded the podcast. So seeing it on the big screen was a whole different thing, and I was literally looking away at points of it. I was like, oh my God.
that's
Did it
fair.
get worse and worse?
I
like
made a
each
horrible
movie?
choice right after that movie came out because they put out a popcorn bucket of Art the Clown, and like for some reason I was like, I should get that
No.
because I like all the art stuff is selling super well right now, and then I can just like resell it down the line. And it showed up like last week, and I was like, ugh, what the fuck am I gonna? And my wife was horrified at it. She's
God.
like, what is this? I'm like, I don't know why I bought this. I'm sorry. That
Bring
was
it. Well, bring it here. We'll put it on the set. All
That's
right.
fu-
So
yeah, that's
even
a
though we're not a
great-
video podcast yet, we're when we do go video eventually, we'll have
That's
all of
perfect.
these
You can
trinkets.
keep it. That's that's good. Because I listed it on eBay right when I picked. Like I opened the box. I'm like, I'm gonna list this, and it still hasn't sold. So you can have it. Yeah, we'll just have it for here.
Oh, all right. So Demi and Megan are here to join us for our discussion on Lisa Frankenstein. And basically, just to summarize what this is about, if you've not seen this movie, as we always tell you, if you want to go watch it first and come back to us, great. If you just want to hear it or you've already seen it, you want to join the discussion, perfect. It's set in 1989. The film follows Lisa, a high school outcast who accidentally brings a handsome but dead guy back to life using
Handsome, huh?
well, he ends up that way. And he was in his day. He was in his day.
He was a dapper gentleman.
He was. He was.
So handsome.
And
Yeah.
she uses a broken up Frankenstein-like method as she attempts to make him the perfect man. She quickly realizes the creature's rebirth brings chaotic and dangerous consequences. The movie, of course, is a blend of horror, humor, and a quirky coming-of-age story with a unique twist on the classic Frankenstein tale.
And the dialogue in this movie is my favorite part.
It's good.
I love
Yeah.
Diablo Cody's writing. It's
Yep.
so funny. Even the smallest little like throwaway like moments, you're just like, God damn it, that was fucking funny.
Right.
Yeah, there's like one line where the girl says, "Who are you hot for?" And I was just dying laughing. That's a hilarious way to write it.
I do love the sister character's lines.
Oh my
Taffy
god, amazing.
is iconic. She's an icon.
Yeah.
I love her.
She really is.
Taffy played by Liza Soberano.
Did you know she's like a big star in, I believe it's Brazil, but she's like in a lot of stuff over there. And this is like her first like American movie, but she did the audition. And 5 days later, they flew her out to start filming.
Really?
Like it was like a instantly like,
wow.
this is our girl, because she played like the mean girl, but she didn't play it mean. She was
Mean.
it was definitely more
Right.
like she still was
Okay.
compassionate, and they're like, we kind of like that angle, so let's bring her in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's
Very
definitely an
cool.
interesting character for sure.
right, for sure.
So, again, 1989, Lisa Swallows. She is struggling to come to terms still with the loss of her mother, who was killed by an axe murderer during this home invasion. And I guess we might as well just fire this
May
off.
as well.
Might as well.
Opening kill.
So this happens about 9.5 minutes in, and it's a flashback scene.
Right.
And she's in her living room. They're both in their living room. This guy comes in, and basically she goes off running. And then the killer, who we never know anything about,
No,
in
it's
this
just
film,
some
it's
random
some
dude.
random thing to set up the whole thing with her trauma, takes the axe and axes her in the head, and that's kind of that.
Yeah.
I was convinced we were going to get closure on this, and
Yeah.
I am notorious for trying to predict what's going to happen in a movie. So I wrote down like maybe it was the father, and then the minute I met the father character, I was like, definitely not the father.
That dude is
Oh my
the single most incompetent character
Yes.
in the history of the world. I hated him.
Played by an actor by the name of Joe Crest, and just the most deadpan, uninvolved, just
Of course,
yeah.
his name is Dale.
Yeah,
like
Dale.
that checks out. Dale is the name of an absentee father, if I've ever heard
Yeah.
a name.
Yep. He remarried
God.
like what, 2 months later?
2 months
Yes!
later, and just doesn't give a single fuck about how the awful stepmother treats his daughter.
Right.
It's very like Cinderella story.
Yeah.
The Hillary Duff one. Yeah, that one.
Exactly. Exactly.
I
'Cause even
can
when the
see that. I
sister-
agree with that.
yeah.
talking about the flashback, and she's like, well, he married my mom and everyone's happy now, and I have a daddy, she has a mommy, everything's
Yeah.
great.
It is weird how
Just like-
quickly she just starts calling him daddy.
Oh my
Yes.
God,
That was a
that's
little. That was a little much.
It was
Yeah.
it was much for me. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, don't reel it back. I thought maybe there was going to be some weird undertones there. Luckily, they
God.
didn't do that. But
Thankfully, that's the one place they decided not to go.
Taffy takes Lisa to this party, and
Because even though like Taffy is like the popular girl and Lisa is the weirdo,
Yeah.
she does like genuinely try to include her in stuff, which I think is nice.
Yeah.
she like
Yeah.
she does her best. She even like offers her tanning bed. Which this is one of my favorite little throwaway moments. Like she gets in the tanning bed, you see a spark, and then they're in the car the next morning, be like, "Sorry, my tanning bed like electrocuted you."
yeah,
So stupid. I love it.
Yep. So they get to the party, and Lisa sees a guy that she kind of has a crush on, and
Michael
he's-
Trent.
Michael
Michael
Trent,
Trent.
and he's with a friend, and this bitch. Oh my God.
With her.
Oh my God. Not a nice person. I hate these kind of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, they're the best, Brian. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
So she's got a drink, and it's spiked with drugs, and so she offers Lisa, and Lisa doesn't really do this kind
No,
of stuff.
Lisa is a
you know.
innocent soul who likes to hang out in graveyards and do
Yes.
little.
I
name
wouldn't call her
etchings.
innocent, but
Not,
yeah.
No, I think at this point she's somewhat kind of maybe
Yeah.
if you
Right.
squint your eyes innocent.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, yeah, she just likes to hang out. She's a weirdo, that's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I would be a little concerned if I was her parent. Be
Sure.
Like, we're gonna try counseling, but
Yeah.
We're
whatever.
gonna try counseling.
Especially if her mother was murdered.
Right. Yeah. The fact that they were
Yeah.
never like, let's maybe help her. Kind of wild choices there.
Right. Might have avoided a lot of what happens in the movie. But
Could have at least slowed it down.
Yeah.
yeah.
So she basically grabs the drink from the friend and downs the entire thing.
Right. She's
And
definitely
then-
trying to prove herself.
Oof, big time. And then she starts tripping.
Tripping balls. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
And
she bumps into her lab partner from high school too.
what's
and
this fucker's name?
This guy, he's
Doug.
yeah, Doug, played by Bryce Romero. He is just a sleaze.
He sucks, man.
You think he's a nice guy because she's wandering through the house tripping and she can barely walk, and he takes her and says, you need to sit down. We need to. So they go to this empty bedroom in this house, and he sits her down. And then what does he do? He tries to start doing stuff with her sexually.
He does what all nice guys do, and tries to take advantage of her. It's crazy. Like, luckily she still has the wherewithal to kind of like be able to actually shut it down.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like I think he says something to the effects of like you basically
He said you can't. You have to finish what you start.
Right?
Or
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, and you're just like, Jesus, dude. Like, shut up.
Meanwhile, he took her hand and put her hand on him.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, you got to finish it now.
Yep.
Sorry.
Oh golly, it ended up there, so that means
Yeah, this guy. So she ends up wandering off, and she wanders into this graveyard. And we should actually go back.
This is the graveyard she spends most of her free time in.
She hangs out in the graveyard, and she's got this one tombstone, this one grave that she's very much attracted to, and she's kind of fallen in love with this corpse that she's never met, never seen.
She's fallen in love because it has like a statue of his little face. And
Yeah.
she's just
A
like, this
really
guy.
hot statue.
Yeah, if
You
there's
know
ever
what
a
I
statue
mean?
you want to
Like,
bang, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yes. So I told you he was a handsome dude. That's what
You're not wrong. Like if I was to have to pick a statue in that graveyard, it would be that one. Like,
he goes through phases though, because in a minute he's not going to be so handsome, but then he kind of gets that back.
and I have a strong like smell reaction to stuff, so there's a lot of stuff in here. I was like, ugh, I can't.
Thank God we
handle
don't
it.
have smell-o-vision because
Right.
I would have had to turn it off.
I would have turned that off immediately.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jesus.
So she gets back into the graveyard, and this kid, he was a young man. He played the piano, and he was killed by a lightning strike in 1837. So he'd been in the ground for a while.
And you see his death in like I love the opening of this movie. It's like
Oh my God, it's
animated.
amazing.
Yeah, I love that kind of shit. And you see his death, and it's struck by lightning, which
I mean, I guess it could be kind of the opening kill, but it's
I counted it as that.
Did you?
But I mean,
wasn't-
shit, we forgot to do a butter knife or a butcher knife for our opening kill.
Well, let's go back and do that.
It's a butter knife for me. It was not great.
Yeah.
It's
I
you don't see
say so
anything.
too.
It's
It is
whatever.
a butter knife because it's nothing.
Yeah,
It's
but
nothing.
yeah, the animated sequence is sick,
Yeah.
and he dies.
He does.
No, it was a creative opening. I
do,
really
yeah.
Very Tim
Yeah.
Burton-y
It was very
type of vibe.
Corpse Bride. A lot of this movie's given me that vibe as well.
And the writer Cody Diablo said that this does kind of take place in the same universe as Jennifer's
No,
body.
she confirmed it does straight up. It takes
Yeah.
up in the same universe as Jennifer's Body, which is
Very cool.
wild.
Yeah, very much so. Very
Kind of
much
want
so.
to. I want more movies from that universe because Jennifer's Body is one of like my favorites.
Yeah, it is.
It
a
was
good movie.
so ahead of its time. It's crazy,
I have not seen that in forever.
dude. You
One
need to
I'm gonna
watch
have
it.
give you,
again.
Megan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very girl power. Don't
have
worry
you
about
seen
it.
it, Megan?
You haven't seen it, Megan?
No.
It's not bad.
okay.
You would like that one. I think it's
think
not.
so.
Okay.
It's not very violent. I don't think.
Now let me ask you this: Have
Yeah.
you seen The Substance with Demi Moore?
Yeah, we just.
Oh, did you do that? You did that one,
Like
didn't
the
you?
sigh.
Oh my gosh.
God, we
know,
did. That was
so-
a tough one.
This is funny. So for our listeners, we're not video, but we're on video right now with Megan and Demi, watching Demi just light up and smile, and watching Megan just like sigh in defeat. It's amazing.
The life just left her body instantly.
It's just us constantly every other week. Just
Oh
like,
my God, I
Yeah.
love that. So there's a storm going on, and she ends up
Right.
going home, and the lightning hits the statue, and essentially what happens is it brings him back to life. He
Yeah, it
doesn't-
killed him and brought him back to life.
brought him
How
back
fun.
to life,
Yeah.
reanimates him as a zombie. He doesn't have a name. He's just referred to as the creature in the credits. So that's what we
I
have.
didn't know that.
And he's played
surprised
by
you didn't give him a name.
Cole Sprouse.
Of course he is.
If you're cultured, you'd know from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Thank
Right.
you. Yes.
Or Big Daddy, which did you know in Big Daddy, he gives himself the name of Frankenstein in that movie.
Really?
Does
Which
he?
I mean, like has nothing to do.
Aw.
Like it definitely was. I guarantee they didn't cast him because of that. But it's just like a weird
Yeah.
little
Yeah,
moment
that's
thing.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So he comes back to life, and soon after that, he breaks into Lisa's house, and she's there alone because the rest of the fam, they're out doing whatever they're doing. And she's terrified. Obviously, she's now having flashbacks.
Yeah, this is like PTSD.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and this guy's not nearly as handsome as the statue would lead you to believe.
He's like a
Not
slug
at all.
monster.
Yeah,
Yes.
gross. Like those like mud monsters from Goosebumps.
Yeah. Well, that's what he looks like because he's covered in mud. Obviously, he's not even recognizable
No,
as a
he's-
human being.
You can,
Yeah.
I can smell that man through the TV.
Right?
Oh, foul.
Horrifying.
She eventually does start to recognize him as the man from the statue. So she kind of calms down a little bit, and he can't talk. He's mute.
You're right.
So, and again, covered in debris and missing multiple body parts, which is key because we're going to start adding body parts to him in a very creative way here very soon.
Creative, yes.
I have to give Cole Sprouse major props because he played this so well for not having speaking role and being fully reliant on just body movements. Like his jerky movements of walking and all of that are just, I believed him. He was definitely an undead zombie man.
He worked for about 7 or 8 months with a movement coach, body movement coach.
Wow.
To get
It wasn't
that.
just a movement coach. Like the dude was a mime, like
Yeah.
a famous mime.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was pretty cool. So,
Lauren Eric Salem. So
okay.
knew him well, know his work, love it.
You follow him.
I followed that career for his entire life.
No,
Love
he
it.
was, but Cole Sprouse, yeah, really. I mean, his performance in this is amazing to be able to do this kind of stuff.
Oh,
And
for sure.
There's so much physicality in this film on his part, and yeah, he pulled it off very, very well.
Not only that, but he's under a lot of makeup too for a lot of it. So it's like, especially for the beginning portion of his animation, like so be able to animate like what you're thinking through all that and just movements, no vocal. Like, yeah, it's impressive stuff.
Right, because you could like tell like what he kind of wants to say and
Right.
do just by his expressions, which is really, I loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah. So, so she calms down, and now the house is a mess at this
There
point.
is this fun part where she's like getting chased by him outside,
Oh,
and the
right,
neighbors,
right.
the neighbors are just like
talk about
sitting
that.
on their lawn chairs, like watching it, and there's like. The husband, I think, said something like, something going on over there. She's like, I don't know, that girl's weird. It's fine.
Just that weird girl.
They're just why are they? It's the middle of the night. And they're just sitting out on their lawn.
It's suburbia, man, in
Yeah,
the 80s.
Yes.
It is definitely suburbia.
There was no privacy back then.
No, there wasn't. We're talking 1989 here.
And the subtle, like, not even subtle sexism in this movie is wild. Because this part already happened, but I wanted, like, my wife and I were watching it together, and we just looked at each other like, what the fuck? When she's at work and she's like, her boss comes in and like touches her shoulder. He's like, I can always count on her. She doesn't have dates ever. It's probably because she's flat chested.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
Now you go back to the 80s, and I think I'm going to assume I'm probably the only one that was alive in the 80s and knows this.
I was born 1990s. So.
That was accepted back then. That kind of stuff was accepted. Now it's like horrifying to see or hear
Right.
somebody say something like that. It's cringeworthy.
And
to
like
be
the
sure.
fact that, and you can tell like she's just used to it, so she doesn't even respond to it. It's just very
Right.
like this
Yeah.
is normal,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is wild.
It really is. Yeah, she just did that, but
No, that
crazy.
scene like that sent me to the moon. I was like, holy fuck!
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Just the touching. Like I don't want no boss
Oh
should
God,
ever touch
yes,
me
it's
ever.
the worst.
Ugh.
Even today, men when they want to move around you will often touch you and your lower back, and it's like, oh,
Stop that.
I wish we could say this was an 80s problem, but I mean it's not.
It's not. So after all of this is said and done, he's chased her around the house, done all this stuff. The family comes home. Let's talk about the stepmom for a minute because her name is
The Spy
Janet.
Kids mom.
Oh my God! Yes. Yeah, her name is Janet, and
What's her real name?
Carla Gugino?
I can't
Carla.
believe
Yeah, I think it is.
I think it is.
That
yeah,
sounds right.
I think it is.
I fell in love with her
Oh man,
in Spy Kids. I was like, what is this?
she is the.
I've been in love with her, absolutely.
That might have been like
then-
one of my sexual awakenings was Spy Kids in the movie theater.
But she is like a horrible person in
Totally,
this film.
which
Oh my
hurt
God.
my
the
hurt my
worst,
heart
the
and made me
worst.
very confused. I was like, I should hate you.
She's the one that married Lisa's dad not long
Yeah.
after, and
Yeah.
she's the mother of Taffy. And
How did Taffy come from her?
that's a good question because
you know,
she's
there's There's a great line later where Taffy is describing her mom to the police, and she's like, you know, oh, she has chestnut hair. Yeah, a bitch.
Well, even like during like a family dinner, she's like, I didn't say that about Lisa. She's like, you literally just did. You said she was like a bitch or something.
So the family gets home, and obviously Janet is going to be blaming her for everything.
And she doesn't she like hide him in the closet?
Yeah, Does she shower him yet or no? I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
does?
she's done the
Okay.
shower thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because he like when he finally like they get, I don't know, she falls on top of him in the yard. He's like spurts something out of his face.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
what it
pretty
is.
gross.
And then the thing that killed me every time it happened
Megan.
was whenever he cries, apparently it smells horrible.
Smells really bad.
She describes it as a carnival like outhouse.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Which, god damn it, that's funny.
It is so funny.
It threw me. The fact that he continually had bugs coming out
yeah.
of his
God.
body was really tough for me.
It gave me a lot of questions for something that happens in the end.
I agree.
Yeah.
So that leads us to one of the next major scenes where everybody's out of the house except for Janet and the creature, and she's having breakfast.
Dude, I love that she is like so head up her ass that she's listening to this podcast about like, you're such a good person and
Yeah.
everyone else
Yeah.
in your life is just a leech, but like that's your cross to bear is you're just so good. And I loved it. And her little workout outfit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So there's a ring at somebody rings the doorbell, and she goes to answer, and it's a salesperson. In the meantime, the creature wanders downstairs and into the kitchen, and a worm drops out of his face or whatever into her cereal. And then he leaves just as she turns the corner.
This scene gave me way too much anxiety
Oh
for
my
no
God.
reason.
Yeah.
There's really no stakes going on here, but for some reason I'm like, oh God, she's going to see him.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Why are you out of the room?
Yeah,
No,
but I
they-
think it's also we had no idea yet what he would do if he was caught, and
Right.
then soon we learned that it's no problem.
Yep. So Janet
True
comes,
that.
Janet comes back to the breakfast table, and she takes a big bite of the cereal and chews for a couple of moments here, and then she stops, and you can see on her face, you know what she's done. Obviously, she pulls the worm out, and then all hell breaks loose.
I do like that, like when the salesperson like comes to the door, she gets real pissy real quick.
Oh, she does.
She's like, I think he mentions like the carpet. She's like, our carpets are fucking clean.
You can eat off of them.
You can eat off these shits.
Yeah, exactly.
She was so funny.
She's
such a bitch.
She's an
but
icon and a nightmare at the same time.
On our show, we often have like what a deleted scene would be if we could cut one
yeah.
scene, and
Yeah.
and I think this would be mine. Despite I don't know, but this was up there. This was definitely up there.
Yeah.
This one was icky, but there
Yeah,
might be
super
worse
gross.
stuff.
Well, this
Yeah.
scene does lead to Janet threatening to send Lisa to an asylum, and
The shit she's saying
Oh my
to
God.
Lisa is so funny.
it's
Absolutely terrible,
Yeah.
but so funny.
yeah.
And I did forget to mention my favorite line in the whole movie. I don't remember when it happens, but she's talking to Taffy, being like, no, you were like, it's because all this hard work's going to pay off because of all those hours you spent with your legs spread against the wall in your back bedroom. I think she like mastered a cheerleader move or something like that.
Yeah.
And just
Yep.
how she phrased that, I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
No,
Well,
genuinely,
Janet-
I think I
Janet and
would
Daphne are the
literally
funniest characters.
die of shame if my
Yeah.
mom ever said that to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Agreed.
All those hours.
All those hours. Well, Janet continues to belittle Lisa, and eventually get to a scene where the creature comes out of the closet and bludgeons her with a freaking sewing machine.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I did not expect it.
I didn't expect that one hit to kill her
No, but
Yeah.
it did.
because like it didn't seem that bad. Like I'm not
No.
saying I
Yeah.
could have
Probably take a
taken
hit
it.
to the head.
Like
Yeah.
I would have died probably, but like
Right.
I'm not
we
Spy
all know
Kid's mom.
Janet is
She's
very
way better than me.
hard-headed. Yeah.
yeah, she should have been fine, but no, totally killed her. Death by sewing machine, which is fantastic.
And then we cut off her ear.
Yeah, he doesn't waste any time.
Yeah, immediately he's like, need that.
He's like, I know what I'm doing.
Mentioned earlier that he's missing body parts, and an ear is one of them.
Yep.
So we cut off the ear because now we're going to Frankenstein that ear back on. Now, earlier in the movie, Lisa got into Taffy's tanning bed.
That she won for being like Miss Hawaii something.
And it shorted out.
What a prize.
And it kind of electrocuted Lisa a little bit.
A little bit.
But didn't hurt her that much, but just electrocuted her. So they get this idea that, oh, I wonder if we,
right, because she like tests it out. So Lisa is just like, oh, I can't do that. And then she immediately fucking does it.
Yep. Yep.
The quickness in which she develops a taste for blood is a little shocking.
Alarming.
Yeah. You're like, you were just a serial killer in the waiting. You were just waiting for it.
Right.
Yeah,
It
there's
doesn't take
something
much.
wrong.
And the mom says something about like, I don't feel safe around you. Maybe she was right.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, I feel like most people, if their mother got axe murdered, wouldn't then proceed to be okay with someone being bludgeoned in front of them.
Yeah.
For a
I'll
normal
defend
person,
Lisa a little bit. I don't know. Janet's awful and doesn't respect Lisa and everything that just happened to Lisa. So,
That's
if
true.
I was Lisa, I'd be like,
She
okay,
does
it's not
mention
the
how
worst
like,
person to
why
get
can't you
killed.
just get over that?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
happened, what, 2 months
that
ago?
was a pretty shitty thing to say. Yeah.
It really was.
Okay, fine. I guess she deserved to die. I mean, whatever.
So they dump Janet's body in the cemetery, and Lisa sews Janet's ear onto the creature, but
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work without an electrical current running through the body. So she goes, oh, wait, we've got the tanning bed. So they take the creature out to the tanning bed and basically electrocute him. And hey, the ear works all of a sudden.
And I'm no like bodytician. I don't know how the human body works, but that seems like there's a lot of things at play that would need to connect and whatever. But
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and he also comes out.
electricity. Who'd have thought?
Who would have thought? And he also comes out of the tanning bed a little more human looking.
He does
now.
look hotter.
Now, well, I wouldn't
Starting
go.
to look.
Yeah.
He's starting to look yummy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would go that far quite yet, but he's at least looking.
Getting
He
there
is-
compared to what he was.
Well, compared to what he was, he's better.
I feel like if I was Lisa and I saw that he seemed more human, I'd be like, get back in. Let's run the cycle
Yeah,
a few
let's
more
get
times.
Turn this up a bit. Things are gonna be great. 'Cause I don't know what it does to his face, but it does something.
Yeah.
I do love the idea of the tanning bed being
It's fun.
this like
It's
electric
amazing.
machine. It's so funny.
Yes.
It's so camp.
I love it, yeah, because they really did just incorporate a lot of random shit from like the original Frankenstein story, like the electricity, like all that kind of stuff,
Yep.
which is fun.
Yeah. No, I agree. I thought it was great. So Janet was kill number 2, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're going to get on to kill number 3. We're going to move forward in time a little bit here. Unless you have,
Thank God.
this is,
Unlike Janet, I have no qualms with this one.
oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really? See, I loved seeing Janet go down. I just did not like her at all. So
Again, I get it, but
Yeah.
like
I'm
my
defending
my
Lisa
12-year-old
thus far.
heart, my 12-year-old heart can't get past it.
got it. I understand that. I'll try and be.
Oh, and like she was supposed to be in Milwaukee too, or Milwaukee, as
yeah, she was going to go on this business trip or whatever trip it was, and she just never.
knowing her is probably like a self-betterment trip
Yeah.
for like
Well, there's
Right.
not for herself though, for
Yeah.
everyone around her.
And she's gone for
Yes,
like 3 or 4
absolutely.
days. She's dead for 3 or 4 days before anybody even starts to worry about her. And it's her daughter that goes to call her at
Right,
her
they've
hotel.
had the number the whole time,
Yeah.
and they haven't tried to call her once,
Right.
which is just another classic Dale thing.
And what's funny is when Taffy tries to call the hotel and they say she never got here, she panics and freaks out and thinks the worst. And Dale is just like, oh, honey, I'm sure she's fine. She's there. It's just
Like as a
you know.
father, husband, Dale is awful, but like I do aspire to be as
Right.
unbothered by him.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I need
that'd
like
be
if I could, my anxiety could be at his
amazing.
level. That would be perfect.
Right. Right.
I
The
feel
world
you
would be
have to
better.
Yeah, you have to be at that level to marry
True.
someone like Janet.
True.
Very much
Yes, that's true. But I feel like after losing your first wife to an axe murderer, you would think
Maybe that's what just like shut him
yeah,
down.
you'd be a
Maybe
little-
it just completely.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, maybe
Maybe he's
Yeah.
a victim here.
person now.
We never thought about that.
Lisa then lures Doug.
Mhm.
This is the kid who tried to basically have
Who
sex
tried to
with
SA
her.
her?
Pretty much.
Well, I guess
Yeah,
succeeded.
he
in
was
some-
going to
yeah,
do stuff.
succeeded.
I mean, he would have gone as far as he could go.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was no secret there. They end up at the cemetery.
Which is a bachelor's cemetery, which I didn't understand what that was till I looked it up. Apparently, it's where like unmarried people.
That's a real
put
thing?
It is, but there's only one in the United States. It's in Chicago, randomly enough. But yeah, it was big in like other places where it's like unmarried people. They couldn't be in a regular
Shut
cemetery.
up.
You gotta
Oh my God.
throw
I was
them fuckers
wondering when
out
it's
in
in
the backyard.
Bachelor.
Like, yeah, so
Yeah.
those are real things, just not really.
Wow.
Aside from Chicago, not in the U.S.
So the creature's there waiting, buried in the, well, not in the ground, but he's covered himself with leaves or whatever. And
It's like that scene in Hunger Games with PETA.
yes,
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
And she tells,
Yeah, exactly.
She tells Doug, "I want you to touch me like, you know."
Well,
other
on the
night."
way into this cemetery too, he's like, "What? You don't want to hold my hand?" She's like, "Oh, I will."
Yeah, yeah.
That was
At
a
some
great
point,
line.
yeah, I
Great
know.
line.
Foreshadowing right there.
And that's when I knew. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I like this.
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
This is cool." I'm like, "Go get him."
So he starts to reach, and the creature's behind him in like under the leaves and everything. Sits up and grabs his ankles and pulls him to the ground, and then she jumps on him and holds the hand, and he brings the axe and
Just chops
boom,
it right off.
chops off the hand. He gets up and just takes off, and I love this. It's axe throwing time, ladies and gentlemen.
Have you ever gone axe throwing?
I have.
It's fun.
I have, yeah.
Have you guys?
Yeah. Megan,
I
you
have
never gone?
No, I haven't. I know.
It's a very Oregon thing. We've got a lot of those bars around here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, have some drinks and throw some axes. That's
Yeah,
what we
That's
do.
what they do.
really, really
yeah,
smart.
They
Yeah.
serve
It's
alcohol
safe.
and then turn you loose with an axe. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
No training.
Well, they a little bit, but not like big time training.
I'm
Don't
too
go past
afraid.
They,
like,
they give you the basic.
They
how to
looked at
throw
me
it.
one day and they're like, "Yeah, you're fine." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know what I'm doing."
I have
I have a
legitimately
beanie?
accidentally. I have legitimately accidentally thrown a bowling ball backwards when I went to throw it forwards.
Oh, nice.
So I'm very scared
I
that I
didn't
wouldn't.
even know that really happened to people.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought that
it
was a
happened to
fake
me.
thing.
No, it doesn't happen
Yeah.
to people. It happens to Megan.
Yeah.
Megan is a real life sitcom character. The stories she can tell you, it's crazy.
Where were we? We got off the.
We got way off the beaten path
He
there.
got axed in the head.
Yes.
That's
He got
right.
first-
No, the back.
Yeah.
The back.
Oh, the
He-
back.
Yeah, he
okay.
threw the axe. So the
I
creature.
do love the shot of the axe moving towards him
Yes,
because
yes.
it's entirely too long and it just is spinning. I'm like, how fast is this axe moving?
Yeah. So he's dead. The body gets stacked with Janet's, and they end up back in the tanning bed after she sews his hand back on.
Yeah.
And then they go into the house, and he sits down at the piano. She starts making fun of him. "Oh, you're a musician." Then he starts playing this incredibly complex piano thing.
Which is valid.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
musicians should be
Yep.
slightly shamed when they try to
Yes.
show off.
Yes. Yeah.
I've been at entirely too many parties where that one douche pulls out the guitar and he's like, "Okay, shut the
Yeah.
fuck up."
Here's Wonderwall. Yeah.
Oh my god, no one wants to hear Oasis.
Right.
I'm 8 shots deep. I just want to shake my ass to Lil Jon.
So then they go into this very cheesy moment where he starts playing "Can't Fight This Feeling" by REO Speedwagon.
Nothing cheesy about this,
A
Brian.
classic,
This is beautiful.
it was
classic
beautiful, yeah.
80s. Yeah, it's cheesy. It's cheesy.
This is when they sold me. I was like, you know what? I would.
You're like, God damn it, this is perfect cinema.
Oh my god! And then she starts singing the song he's playing, and they have this moment. So now we get to the point in the film where the police are now investigating these disappearances
Yeah,
of
like, they should just stay
Janet
out of it, honestly.
and Doug. And Lisa's implicated. She does not want to talk to the police. She's not going to cooperate. And she goes to find Michael. Now, this is the crush from the beginning of the movie, and also who came in to her sewing job to apologize and all this stuff too. And so she goes to his house. The creature drives her, or does she drive the creature? I can't remember who's driving now.
The creature.
The creature's
He
driving.
drives
So-
because if you
How did he
remember,
learn to drive?
I
Okay.
actually might have to. We might have to add this to the kill count because it's not determined.
you know what? Yes, it is the old man.
True.
Yeah,
I didn't see a blood puddle, so that made me
there
think
was blood on the object.
there
though.
was.
There was.
Okay, I
Yeah.
missed that. The grandkid or whatever seemed a little too jolly though for a dad.
Well,
was.
everybody seems a little too jolly in this, no matter what
Yeah.
happens.
That's true.
It is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had looked at that too, and I was like, do we put it in? Do we not? Because you do see the
Yeah.
body, but you don't actually see the kill, but you know it.
Yeah.
There's another one with a cop later in the movie that I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know if she's dead.
What
Right.
happened there too?
Because
That's
they
true.
leave her in the grave. We'll talk
get
about
to
it.
that,
but
but-
but so that's a good point. So we could actually, I mean,
You
technically,
know what?
we
This
could make
has
that,
a low kill count, so let's fucking add it.
We'll make that. Let's make that kill 3 point.
Let's just make it 4.
3.1.
Fuck
Make
it.
4?
Yeah, I mean he's old. I'm sure one hit to the head. If it killed Janet,
True.
it killed
Yeah.
He could have
True.
just he could have had just a heart attack out of fear too and
That's
dropped
true.
on
Yeah.
the pavement. But there's blood.
There-
But I didn't
yeah.
see blood on him.
But apparently there's blood. Let's just count it,
All right.
and then it makes the grandkid being so happy even funnier.
More
funnier.
fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Because he's like stoked. He's like waving to him. He's like, bye.
Yeah.
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 And
Because
which
he
is
was
what
just
I would
yelling.
be too. I would be that
Yeah.
way too if I saw Cole Sprouse. I'd be like,
yeah.
Yeah. Honestly.
So the creature drives her to Michael's house, and she's always home. So she runs upstairs, and finds him in bed with the stepsister Taffy.
and this is
Ultimate
what
betrayal.
hurt. I was like, oh fuck. I was
Yeah,
really
that
liking you,
sucked.
Taffy.
Yeah.
Because Taffy, like, there's moments throughout the film where she's kind of talking like. And now I understand why she was saying these things. You're like, you don't want to end up with that. You want to end up with
Yeah.
like maybe someone who's not on the basketball team, but maybe coaches it or something.
Yeah.
And now you know it's like, oh, because she
Yeah.
was fucking that dude the whole time.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do think she meant mostly well, but
Yes.
wasn't nice enough. Like she could have said to Lisa, "Hey, I'm dating him," but she was just trying to avoid that confrontation.
Right.
It's like, not
Yeah.
very cool of you, Taffy.
No, it really wasn't. I was bummed. I felt so
I didn't
bad.
li- yeah.
I felt bad for
Yeah.
Lisa. I feel bad for Lisa through this whole thing. I mean,
Yes.
the way the stepmom treats her, and then she walks in on her stepsister banging her
Yeah.
crush. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna blame Michael more though, because he was flirting with
Yeah.
Lisa.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yes. Yes. He was hardcore laying it down on
was.
her. And that's so
Absolutely.
rude. That's super rude. One of my notes I wrote is also that Lisa looks awesome. So her outfits are on point throughout the whole thing because the creature has started dressing her, which is really fun. He has a great sense of style, obviously. She looks banging. She has no empathy, but she looks banging. So
Yeah, her confidence.
Terrible
really
person,
dropped.
but goddamn those
yeah.
No, for sure. She does look killer. Like I love the costume designing here is
Yes.
pretty
Yeah.
top notch.
and the scene that happens next, what
God.
happened is just painful.
I didn't expect this.
I did,
I-
actually.
No.
I did.
You expected
Your favorite
this?
scene,
I love this
Demi.
scene. It was so
I
funny.
freaking
Stop.
knew you would
So
like
funny.
it, you weirdo.
Please describe it, Brian, so I
Yes.
can add to
Demi
it.
fucking
is
love
the
that.
true horror fan.
Yeah, we're all fucking posers, Brian.
Oh my God, we don't even compare because
We don't.
this was not my favorite. This was the most cringeworthy
I just
for
didn't
me.
expect
I was like,
it. It was just like, I clutched my pearls.
So the creature comes bursting into the room behind Lisa, pulls the covers back. Now you don't actually see it, but he basically takes the axe and deep penises Michael
Yeah.
is what he does with it.
Yeah, Michael had to say bye-bye to his pee-pee.
He
It was-
sure did.
Yeah.
And then you've got this blood spatter, all over Taffy. There's an interesting thing in here because Michael's death was supposed to be a lot more graphic. Believe
Oh,
it
you're
or not.
going to say that. I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, with
Okay.
blood. Blood was supposed to like cover the walls.
Well, it was supposed to be an R-rated movie.
Yeah, it was supposed to be R-rated, and then they decided, well, if we do PG-13, it'll appeal to a wider audience. Well, it didn't work. They should have
With
kept
some
the
of the
R-rated.
shit in this, they
I
should have
know.
leaned hardcore into the
I
R.
know.
Like, it seems like a bold choice to be like, well, we want 13-year-olds here.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very pushing the
Yeah.
lines already.
So
Right.
so in the R version, Taffy had to be digitally removed. Blood. It was just like really
God.
bad.
She was coated in it. So, like,
Yeah.
all those shots of her there, it's all digitally removing blood from her.
Yeah.
Including,
Shut up.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
including the
Oh, yeah.
car scene, like when she's in the car coming up. That all had to be
Yeah.
digital too, because she was just drenched in fake blood.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Couple of
That's
oth-
insane.
Yeah.
Well, and a couple
Because
of other,
I would have never thought it. Looked, they did a great
No,
job.
they did an amazing job with
Yeah.
it. But a couple of other things that happened also to get that PG-13. Originally, Lisa smoked a laced joint at the party instead
Yeah.
of drinking a beer spiked with PCP. Also, Lisa and the creature were originally smoking pot in bed instead of drinking milk.
Which seems wild. You're like, pot's
just-
gonna give you an R-rated movie.
I guess.
I mean, maybe it's just the
guess.
Oregonian in me, but that just is like the most normal thing ever.
Well, we're
Well, it's still not legal everywhere.
Sure, yeah.
So,
it's
Like,
legal in
it's
Oregon.
every corner of
Right.
every block has a dispensary. So it's
here
just,
in Oregon,
Yeah.
in our town anyway, it does. So I guess it's not that big of a deal to us, but I guess it's still. So it was just interesting what they
that
did.
people at
to-
the MPAA is like, oh,
and-
weed.
Yeah.
it honestly, it didn't help the success of the movie. It still lost money, and it didn't. I mean, I don't know.
I think they should have leaned into it.
Yep, me too. Me too.
Even if they didn't they didn't need to go like full on like ridiculously gory, but like a few
Right.
more F words would have probably been ideal.
Fine. I mean, who's really letting, like, if a parent is letting a 13-year-old watch a movie about a girl who eventually
We all, like
Gets
you
into
know
a-
what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
does this with a dead body, like, I think that's a little questioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think why I love this scene, I thought was so funny, is because everything is so chaotic.
Oh,
he
it is.
comes in with the axe, it's slow motion, and they don't show it, but they show the axe going down, everyone's screaming, and then there's a silhouette, you see the shadow of little penis and balls flying into the trash can, and then the creature just takes the trash can and runs, and I'm like, this is genuinely so funny, and it's so crazy. I was dying. It was so funny.
I do love the fact too, like the creature then does straight up tries to kill Taffy, but I guess she has an axe-proof
Right.
pillow
Yeah.
that just
Well,
stops
Oh my
the
God.
axe.
It
like,
didn't. Yeah.
She just holds it up. I guess that's enough. She's completely
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it-
mean, at
Nice of
least Lisa.
yeah.
Yes, that exactly, Demi, what I was gonna say. At least Lisa finally stops one murder from happening.
Yeah, like Michael genuinely sucked. I
For
don't
sure.
care for him.
No,
Taffy,
I knew
was
you were
like,
gonna, Dem. I knew, like, I had mixed feelings about some of these murders, but I was like, Demi's gonna be fine with all of them. I know it. Yeah.
Love that. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Well, anyway, the creature takes off for the woods, and Lisa chases
Because that's what you
after
do
him.
when you cut off a penis. You just
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah.
make for the
Yeah.
woods.
They end up back in the cemetery together, and she's actually wants to confront him about what just happened and everything else.
Well, Taffy's with them too, and
Taffy's
Lisa
in the
Poor
car.
Taffy.
and Lisa has
Jesus.
the audacity to be like, everything's fine.
And she
Like,
gives her mother's
she tried-
rosary beads as appreciation. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like that was
I'm
kind of
like, you
strange.
should have
but-
just left her behind because she's needs to process
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
she just
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah.
She's like very obviously distraught and scared of Lisa, which that's fair because somebody Lisa knows just slaughtered a man in front of you.
And
Yes.
even though Lisa saved Taffy, she's like very chill about the situation.
Yeah.
She's just
Yeah.
like, okay, well, come with
It's
me.
just
it's
a
fine.
Tuesday for her.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
it's fine.
That's funny. It is. So they do end up in the cemetery, and a cop shows up, and this is that other. It's not. I mean, it's not really a kill because what happens is the cop comes up to him, and the creature lunges for her, picks her up, and throws her into this open grave. And then
I thought that was hilarious too. by
yeah,
the way.
it was
I
just
like,
like boom, boom, and then Lisa and the creature leave, and that's it. You don't know if
Yeah.
she's dead. So I didn't.
it depends
count
on the
that.
depth of the hole, really.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that
Yeah.
deep. It didn't sound like it took her that long.
Like
to
if
hit.
it was
I mean,
like
Yeah.
6 feet, she looked to be about like 5'4". I mean, I don't know.
well, 6 feet plus whatever the height of the creature is and how
Right.
high
Yeah.
she was. But I mean, that doesn't mean you're
feel like
unnecessarily going to die. But I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like she's okay.
Yeah.
but
She just
I don't
had the
think
wind
she'd be able
knocked
to
out
get
of her.
of
Oh.
there. So
Yeah. No, I agree. I think so. I didn't put that on the kill count, but Michael with the penis removal, that was now kill number
I
5.
like your wording of that penisoctomy. That's fun.
Penisectomy.
Yeah.
Penisectomy. Yeah. What else are you going to call it? I mean,
No, it's
Yeah.
perfect.
well, Lisa reattaches the penis to the creature now so they can have sex.
My God.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had
So-
like everything about what started to happen. I was just like, okay, first off, like it's kind of wild because she wanted to have sex with Michael the entire movie. She kind of ends up doing it
Yeah.
with him in
Right.
some ways.
Right.
Oh,
She
yeah.
has sex with 2 dudes in one go around. That's wild. 2 dead dudes.
I mean,
Oh
technically.
my God, you're right.
Technically,
It's,
yes.
it's
Yeah,
a different
I didn't
guy's
think about
penis
that.
and
Yeah.
then like a different dude's body.
Yeah, you're
Both
right.
dead.
You're right. She kind of did bang him. I
She
guess.
went back to back in necrophilia.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, but it's
Yeah.
not. It's I guess.
He's
like
dead.
he's
Oh, he's
undead.
dead, yeah.
He's undead.
Which makes it worse for some reason. I don't know why.
yeah,
the penis was new though.
yeah. It wasn't.
You know,
That
it
one,
wasn't
yeah, the
decayed.
penis is clean. It should be fine.
Yeah, yeah.
It could have been worse.
I mean, I would prefer that penis to like the moldy maggot
Yeah,
penis.
to whatever
Right.
was lacking
Yeah.
on him, I guess.
Which brings us really to the biggest issue, which is, you know, his tears were putrid. He's expelling bugs. Like what's happening? That's the real nightmare here. That's the real
at
horror
this point,
movie.
though, he looked pretty human enough.
Yeah, but like
He cried when he cried at one point. I thought to myself, okay, it's not going to be smelly tears anymore. But she shoves a pillow on his head,
yeah,
and she's like, it still smells, and it looks normal.
Yeah.
So I'm just feeling like that's kind of icky.
If tears were icky, what are we talking about these other fluids? Like,
Oh God.
I mean, it's.
I hope
the
to
penis
God
was new,
they wore a
that's what's
condom.
going in, right?
I hope to God they
That's
wore a
it.
condom, because good God.
Yeah, seriously, you don't know what.
I really wish they
What
would
did
have
she
like
carry?
had
She
a
had a
moment where like
soaking
you see his hand
sponge?
rip one or something,
Yes.
just to have that
Yes.
closure.
What was that, Jimmy?
Yeah.
She had a soaking sponge, right?
Yeah.
That was her first
But she dropped it. She dropped it. So I don't know.
Oh,
It's
I
like
don't know
a
either.
Yeah.
Twilight situation.
This is where
right?
Yeah.
Lisa 100% lost me. I'm like, nope, you're a gross
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, I mean, she was already questionable. So at this
She
point,
was.
I was like,
Yeah.
"Girl, lean into it." You know,
Yeah.
like
She's a little
you've
crazy. She's
you've
going to
already
jail
done.
anyway.
Yeah, she didn't want to die a virgin. That was her big
True.
thing.
Yeah.
True.
Which I don't know. It
What's
was
worse
girl,
though?
I don't care.
What's
Cole
worse,
Sprouse
dying
is
a
hot.
virgin or banging a dead guy?
Yeah, I mean,
With a different penis.
yeah.
Yes.
Would I do it? No.
Round the room, who would do
Yeah.
it? Personally,
Me.
I would have to pass. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
it
me
is Cole
too.
Sprouse. It is Cole Sprouse.
Yeah.
So that does
It's
have
Cole
to come into
Sprouse.
question. You're like,
Cole Sprouse.
I mean, you have to look at him
Check
at the
that off the
you know
bucket
when we
list.
see him at the end of the movie, he is fully sentient. Like he's you know he's
Like
fully
getting
cold.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a good. He's sensitive. He is protective of her. He's been there since day one.
he's murdered
Yeah,
a
I
few
would.
people, but
Right,
whatevs.
He'll
right.
protect her.
It's
other than
true.
that random
He
old
does
man
have a
who's
Well,
protection.
no. What is he protecting her from with Michael? He just wants the penis.
Okay.
Well,
no,
there
Michael
is. You
was
can tell he
trash.
gets very jealous because Lisa.
That's true.
They're in the bed together, and she's like, you know what? I know you're right here. I'm gonna fuck this other dude, and you can just tell
Right.
it, like his
face.
his life leaves him in that moment, and
Yes.
so
Yeah.
no, Michael was on borrowed time from that point on.
Yeah,
I do
that's
think she
fair.
moved on to the creature too quickly. I would have wanted like more of her falling for the creature rather than just being like,
Yeah.
all right, you know, Michael's dead now, so let's just get together. I'm like, too quick.
Yeah, I mean, I always have.
But
so,
Michael lives on. Michael lives
Yeah,
on.
he does live on. He does.
away.
And a part of him, you know, will always be with her.
Jesus Christ.
I read a book that was very similar to this movie, actually, and it gave me a major ick. It was kind of like this woman who creates Frankenstein's monster and amalgamates all these body parts and falls in love with him. And it's weird. You know, you can't build a husband, build a man. I think that's a little much for me, I will say.
Yeah, men aren't Build-A-Bears. You can't just.
Yeah, exactly. Like picking and choosing your bits and baubles is a bit icky.
I mean, yeah. I love that the only 3 parts he was missing though was the random ear, hand, and penis. Like
Right.
Yeah.
what a trio.
Yeah, I was very interested in the way that his body decayed, and that it was over 100 years, 150 years. You would have thought he'd just be a skeleton, but
No. he still got some
again,
flesh.
suspending disbelief, I guess. He only lost 3 things.
Well, this brings us pretty much to the end of the movie now, almost, where Lisa, you know, convinces the creature that he needs to burn her alive in the tanning bed so she doesn't get arrested, which he does. And then sometime later, Dale, the dad, and Taffy, the stepsister, visit Lisa's grave. Taffy is confused because there's an inscription that says "beloved wife" on it. It's been added to Lisa's headstone, and it's been damaged by lightning. The creature is then shown on a bench reading Percy Shelley's poem, "Oh, Mary Dear," and a resurrected Lisa lies in his lap, and at the very last shot, her eyes open, and that is the end of the movie.
And so in the final scene with that, when he's reading, that is from a collection of poems that Percy's wife, who was Mary Shelley, like this is like a real thing that she published after his death. So it's Mary Shelley, who is the author of Frankenstein,
Right.
her husband's poems, which is kind of cute.
Aw,
And then
that's
and then he's also wearing yellow rainbow suspenders,
Yep.
which is because Mork and Mindy was Robin Williams' like first show that like made him big, and so she's wearing Robin Williams. He's wearing Robin Williams' suspenders for like a callback for her dad.
Oh,
And there's a
interesting.
lot
That's
of Robin
cute.
Williams like moments in here.
Right.
Like in one of her bedroom scenes, there's a Robin Williams album that's just on the floor.
Oh,
So yeah,
that's really cute.
it's cute. It also makes you like sad because you're like.
yeah.
You can tell, like, because she's talented. She's got an eye for
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So it's like
definitely.
to have your dad not see your like big
Yeah.
moment, that would suck.
But also, it would be kind of weird to have if I made this movie and had my dad watch it. I would be like, close your eyes from this minute to this minute.
You know what, though?
Like,
I
Judge
think
me
with
too
Robin
hard, but-
Williams, I think he would have been all over this thing. I think he would
Yeah.
have loved this just based
Yeah.
on,
Probably.
you know,
He's
yeah.
a silly goose.
Just supportive. I'm sure he's
yeah.
very supportive. So
Yeah, definitely. So final kill count, it was 5. We're going to make it 6 with the old dead guy laying in the
Fart.
road. Favorite character? Mine was the dad by far. I just thought he was so deadpan, so funny.
I was thinking, and I'm like, I didn't really like anyone. And that's not to say like I don't know. I was just trying to think who's my favorite. I'm like, I don't know. They're all like kind of awful.
Yeah. I have to say Taffy. She just with the comedic relief, her lines and everything. Would I want to be besties with her? No, but as a character, she was really fun to watch.
Taffy was great. And I like how there's a scene where she's like mentions that she's wearing jellies.
Yeah.
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 Did you ever wear jellies?
No.
Yeah. When
I
I,
had
was
a pair of
little.
jellies.
Yeah.
Because I was raised by women, and they're like, "This is what
Yeah.
Michael wants to wear."
Well,
Those
that
are the most painful.
Okay,
Oh,
that
every
explains a lot about you now.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I am basically a female in a man's body. It's crazy. But no, like the jelly scene sent me. I was just like, ha.
Yeah.
Because those things hurt. You got to
Yes,
rock in those,
yes.
you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were just
They're
this
tough.
plastic shoe. Horrible
Yep.
design.
Yeah.
aesthetically rad,
So
Yeah.
rad.
not practical.
No.
If they could
no,
come
definitely
back
not.
with like Crocs material.
Oh,
Make that
that'd be
happen.
clever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved all the little throw-ins because it was things like the crimper, which I don't know, Demi, if you did it because you already have curly hair. Okay. So we fried our hair with the crimpers and all that kind of stuff in the 90s. So there was all those little throw-ins and like the old school little toolboxes that they had was really, really cute. I loved those moments. Demi, why was the creature your favorite?
I just thought he was funny. I really liked him. I don't know. It might be because I love Cole Sprouse, but I just
Yeah.
think he was very interesting and he didn't talk the whole time, but I just knew exactly what he was thinking and he was a psycho and
And you're into
appreciate
it.
that.
Got
Nothing
I'm into
hotter than a
it.
psycho.
Yeah.
That's funny. That is funny. All right, favorites, favorite kill or favorite scene?
Favorite kill is probably the sewing machine, just because like what a fun weapon.
Yeah.
It's not every day you see a sewing machine death. And then favorite scene that's just like not horror is it's the stupid thing in the opening where she gets electrocuted and she's like, sorry you got electrocuted. I don't know. That made me laugh entirely too much.
It's funny. We got the same ones because
Yeah.
those were mine too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. The kill was the mom because just mainly, I mean, I thought the sewing machine was cool, but I just hated her so much. And then, yeah, the tanning bed thing, that was funny.
Great.
Dem, your favorite kill scene was the
I mean,
penis,
it
I'm
has-
sure.
Yeah, it has to be the penis.
Yeah. I would actually agree that was my favorite kill in just how stupid the shadow was. That carried it for me, but I didn't love him dying because I have empathy. But my favorite scene, I don't even know. I would say like I think
I mean that might also be my favorite scene, but another scene I love was the creature, like Lisa and the creature sitting in bed talking, and he's wearing like a dress pajama with her.
Oh yeah,
and, like, I think
that's
he's
fun.
like massaging her back with like a wand. And
Oh yeah,
it's just-
that
I just
one's.
love seeing
I
him
think
wearing
that I think for me, it was like Taffy on the phone with the police, actually, because just her descriptions, and you're going back and forth between this horrifying scene with the monster, the creature vibrating Lisa, to Taffy devastated.
Yes, exactly. So funny.
Michael just about fell out of his chair.
Vibrating Lisa, that sent me.
That's great. Oh, all right. So,
Star grade.
Yeah.
What would you put it on Letterboxd, Brian?
So on a 1 to 5, I gave it a 4.
I want to give it a 5, but like I feel like I'm too like loosey goosey with my 5 stars.
Okay.
I just give it to anything and everything one, but I want to. I'm gonna do 5.
Okay.
No, but I'll do 4.5.
4.5.
4.5.
4.5. All right. What say you? How do you watch this podcast?
I have to go lower. I really enjoyed a lot about this movie. I liked the concept. I liked the characters. But for me, I think it got to a point where it felt like a standstill almost, and I wanted more romance between her and the monster, because that's what I thought it was going to kind of be, rather than her, growing confident in herself and going after Michael and then eventually going for the creature. So I'd have to give it like a 3.8.
Wow.
But I still thought it was fun, and I think it was a good first project for Zelda.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
I can't believe I would give a horror movie higher than you. I would go. I was between, because sometimes we get into the decimals, and I was between a couple, but I'm gonna go with 4.5.
Okay.
I'm going 4.5 as well.
Nice.
There was part of me that was like, maybe it's a 4.3, but I just had a lot of fun with it. The biggest drawback for me was just the I had to lean into the camp. The biggest drawback is the lack of empathy with Lisa. I struggled with that the most. And then the ick factor, that's always gonna, I don't know that I would 5-star it with the fact that he's dead and whatever, but it got close. It was fun, and I would rewatch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun one. I just love like any movie kind of like, because I just love the snappy dialogue of Diablo Cody stuff, like Juno, Jennifer's Body, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
Good dialogue gets me every time.
Yeah, it's hard to write good dialogue, and this movie had a lot of really good dialogue. I thought it was really, really well done.
Yep,
so
for sure.
I do feel like Janet and Taffy had a lot of the best dialogue at the start, and I think like once they were kind of out of the picture, like it was still fun, but I think for me, like the beginning, especially with them and all the banter between them, was just so funny and good.
Right.
And then it kind of slowed down for me, but
For sure.
Well, it definitely created a lot more conflict with in the movie with those two around and everything too. So yeah, I agree. I think it did after those two characters kind of
Or
that's
the
mom especially when she died and was out of it. It did kind of, I don't know if I want to say it lost steam, but it just kind of something changed, obviously.
Yeah.
It changed tone for sure. Like
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we all pretty much enjoyed it.
yeah.
It seems like.
yeah.
Megan,
Yeah.
not as much, but that's to be expected as Megan is the romance fan.
I was very pleased that it was so light on the scariness. Demi told me before we watched it, she was like, Megan, it's basically a romance movie. It's basically romance. So
Well, and it really kind of is. And that's kind of when Michael brought it to me, I'm like, we're going to do this? Really? On Opening Kill?
I thought it married because you're a romance and horror thing. So
Well,
I'm like, that
it does great.
perfect for these guys.
That it's great.
Yeah.
For. Yeah. So
yeah,
Yeah, I was
I
using the
appreciate
old
it.
noggin for that one.
Yeah.
We will
yeah.
not go that easy on you next time, Megan. I promise you.
Thanks.
Oh, look at Demi. Demi's loving it.
Terrifier 4 is coming out next year.
Terrifier 4 is coming out. Now, actually,
I'm not available that day, whatever day you're recording.
so Demi, have you seen the Terrifier franchise?
I haven't. I used to be really into like those type of movies, and I just like, for me now, I'm just like, oh, I can't. I've thought about trying to watch the first one, but I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just not.
The first one
into
feels the
those,
most
but-
icky, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I think, no, because it's more
the
gritty.
description of what happens.
Yeah, no, and it's specifically one
3.
thing.
I mean, 3 was pretty. It's like I think they kept upping it
never
from
mind.
film to film to film.
Yeah, I take it back.
Yeah, I think
I
once.
feel like, yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, the first one made some money, the second one made more money, and then they decided to go all out in the third one, which made even more money and set records. So, yeah, I don't know. Terrifying.
No, I occasionally watch, movies where it's just more gore heavy, and I don't know. I'm just like, it's just not. I used to watch all the Saw movies and all that, and they don't grab me anymore. But.
Okay. Well, we will definitely come up with an appropriate film next time we have you on here. So
okay,
yeah.
Cool. Don't go too hard on me.
Oh no, we won't, will we,
It'll be
Michael?
fine.
No.
Oh,
that
does not sound.
that
doesn't sound good. Demi, you have to hold my hand. Okay.
We'll watch it together.
We want to
perfect.
when you watch the next movie we throw at you, we want to be on Zoom with you watching it with you because I just want to see the
my
reactions.
face. Yeah, fair.
All right, coming up next, it is the Scare Preview right here on the Opening Kill podcast.
Welcome to Jaunty Haunts, the podcast about all things supernatural. After 30 years of keeping a secret, I'm finally ready to share with the world that I see ghosts. This podcast is all about getting spooky and connecting with others who might also sense, see, or feel things beyond the ordinary. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, let's connect, share, and maybe feel a little less crazy together.
You can listen to and binge Jaunty Haunts right now on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you podcast. Stay spooky, ghoul friends.
It is the Scare Preview.
Yeah, what do you got?
Got a movie called The Grove coming out in, actually less than a month now. It was directed and it stars Corey White. And the description that they are giving right now: when Terrence, a black ops soldier, goes under an experiment to create a better life for him and his fiancée, his homecoming turns tragic when he stops taking his medications and he descends into feral madness. Trailer looks pretty cool. So
Feral.
April 4th is the release date.
Okay.
Demi, you look way too into it.
Writing this down.
So I got
Feral, you say.
Bring Her Back. And that's done by the 2 YouTubers that directed Talk to Me. Did you watch that, Brian?
Ooh.
Yes,
Did you watch-
I did.
did-
That
what-
was
did
the,
you watch-
that
see
was,
that?
Was that The Hand?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did see that. I like that one.
Yeah, so this is their follow-up to that. Not much is really known about it, but it's coming out May 30th, so it's pretty soon. And they're just really keeping it under wraps, but I am excited for their next project because I love YouTubers making movies. That's rad as hell. So
Sure.
just want to support that. But yeah, I love Talk to Me, so I'm curious to see where they go with this one.
Very cool. Bring Her Back.
Yeah.
Demi, anything coming out that you are excited about?
I was trying to think. I think it's not a movie, but I am excited for the show Alien Earth.
Yeah.
I think I'm excited for that. I hope it's good. So
Yeah.
So that's part of the Alien franchise, but it's coming to Earth? Is that
Yep.
what's okay?
Yeah.
I figured it out.
Earth,
Cool.
probably America. Here we go.
All right.
Any horror films you're looking forward to, Megan?
The closest thing I could get is Snow White's coming out this month, which might,
The horror is Disney doing another live action.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Wow. Okay, well, that's fantastic.
It's going to be so scary.
I can't. Michael, you're going to have to hold my hand during that when it comes out.
It's going to be cray-cray.
Megan and Demi from the How Do You Watch This podcast. This has been so amazing. Thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for
Appreciate it.
having
Thank you.
us.
This was so
it was a lot of
fun.
fun.
This was awesome.
Yeah.
And we will definitely bring you back for another episode
Cool.
down the road here. I think just to watch Megan's expressions, I mean the contrast between Demi and Megan, to actually see it.
It's pretty iconic.
Since we've been listening now for quite a while, to actually see it in action, that's worth the price of admission right there.
Yeah.
Megan's reviews on horrors are really great.
Demi many times cannot handle how low I give hers, because like I think the worst one for her was Carrie. I gave a 0.25.
No, I don't
and
wanna talk about it.
yeah. So
Is that the
it's
original or the remake?
Yes. the
OG.
original.
Honestly,
So if you can see,
I kind of agree. I don't really like that
hell
one.
yes!
No.
Thank
what the
you.
hell?
No, it's like I don't know.
No, it's so
It's
good.
so
Stop.
silly.
Yeah, it's just it's not good.
So Demi,
I move things with my mind. Okay, so do all the X-Men. Like, who gives a shit?
so
It's a horror movie. That doesn't make sense. You like
So-
Lisa Frankenstein and she had sex with a corpse.
Demi, I'm looking for a new pod show host. What are you doing? Starting opening kill with Brian and Demi.
Fine, we'll have so much more fun.
Yeah, I love romance movies. We could just have a romance movie
Amazing.
one.
There we go. My therapist will thank you.
Too much fun. Megan and Demi from the How Do You Watch This podcast. They drop new episodes every Sunday. Make sure to check that out. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
And we will be back next week. We have, I changed the schedule without telling you.
Oh, what?
I hate to tell you. Yeah. We're going to do In a Violent Nature next week. We were going to do Halloween Kills. A friend of mine actually was part of that movie. And we're playing tag team, trying to get a hold of each other. So 'cause I want to get her on for that. And we haven't done that yet. So we're going to move In a Violent Nature, which came out last year.
You just sprung this on me.
I did.
I'm flabbergasted.
So you have a new movie to watch before next week.
Fucking do it.
All right. So that will do it for us. It is Opening Kill. Join us every Thursday for new episodes. Like and subscribe. Find us on all the socials. Email us if you have a movie idea or you just want to chat.
Yeah, you can email us at openingkillpod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.
All right. We will talk to you next week.
The Opening Kill podcast is hosted by Michael Duran and Brian O'Connor. It's produced by Mystic Cloud Productions. Thanks for listening. And don't forget to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram too. Join us next Thursday for a brand new episode.